Alright guys, I have been tagged, but I'm sorry I'm doing it just now. I got tagged middle of April. I'm a little behind. Life has been hectic as heck, but I'm finally getting around to doing this tag video. It's by CJ City. I don't really follow him. I didn't even know about him until I got tagged and people were telling me I was tagged and I didn't really know what they were talking about. But anyway, I don't usually watch a lot of YouTubers or any. I do watch YouTube a lot, but not fragrance reviews because I don't want to be influenced by what other YouTubers say about fragrances. So that is why I don't read reviews or watch other YouTubers. But I did get tagged, and the tag was, which fragrances do you know you'll finish through, all the way through, like you use up the whole bottle? And I thought, you know what, that's a good idea. There are fragrances that I have multiple bottles of, backup bottles, so I'm doing a kind of my own theme of this tag video. I'm going to let you know 10 fragrances that I know I would use up, all of it, and how many backup bottles of those 10 fragrances I have, and I'll show you what they are. So I'm not tagging anybody in addition to this video, but I am thanking CJ City for tagging me. And again, I don't usually participate in a lot of tag videos, and most people don't tag me either, whatever. But I appreciate CJ City tagging me with this great idea of a video. So if you want to find out about 10 fragrances that I would use up the entire bottle of, and the backup bottles I have of each of those fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, today we're doing a tag video, a follow-up to a tag video that I got tagged a month ago, and I'm just getting around to doing it. Life has been hectic. Since I moved to this new studio that I'm shooting at, I've been building it up. It's just not completely finished, and it doesn't look like it'll be finished for another 2 or 3 months. I'm waiting on furniture that is on back ordered. I guess since the pandemic is kind of coming to an end slowly but surely, people are out buying certain furniture and things like that. So everything is out of stock. Either way, I'm going to get to that collection video very soon as this place is completely done. But in the meantime, let's do this tag video of 10 fragrances that I have in my collection that I know I would use up the entire bottle. And then, as I said, I'm doing a little twist on the theme of this particular video, tag video idea, and I'm going to show you the backup bottles I have for all those 10 fragrances. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So again, I appreciate CJ City for tagging me for this particular tag video. Again, I'm not tagging anybody. But before I get to number one, I'm going to tell you I have 3 fragrances from one brand, and I'll tell you about this brand once I start telling you the first one, which is from that same brand. MUSC RAVAGEUR from FREDERIC MALLE. I have 3 fragrances from FREDERIC MALLE here, and even though a lot of you are complaining about this brand and how things are getting reformulated, yeah, I do experience that since before it was not part of Estee Lauder and to now, I still think the brand is really, really great. Pricey fragrances, but they do offer some really, really great smelling fragrances, and this is one of them. MUSC RAVAGEUR, as you can see, this is my second bottle. This will be my third. I have a bottle of it here, MUSC RAVAGEUR, and I know I would use up this because it's so good. And I'm an oversprayer to begin with, so I go through fragrances quite quickly, but I do also share it with some family and things like that because my family really loves a lot of fragrances. But I really love this MUSC RAVAGEUR because of its warm touches. It's ambery, it's caramelly, sugary, spicy, and definitely musky, but I feel like this version under Estee Lauder is more gourmand than musk, if that makes sense. I recently did a video of this particular fragrance comparing it to L'Herbolarios Mejares. If you haven't caught that video, go catch it. But definitely, I know I'll go through MUSC RAVAGEUR really, really quickly. It's one of my favorite fragrances. And obviously, as you can see, this is where I'm at with this particular bottle right there. So it's delicious. It's a delicious musk fragrance. And the thing about that in comparison to pre-Estee Lauder is it's not as musky to me. The animalic parts are kind of removed. So go catch that comparison video with L'Herbolarios Mijares. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is another Frederic Malle, and as I said, Frederic Malle does have great fragrances, even though I do get the complaints from folks of the reformulations, the watering down of the fragrances, Estee Lauder killing the juice and things like that. This is one of their more latest fragrances, came out late 2019. This is the Moon. I bought the original 50 ml bottle here last year sometime during the pandemic. I ordered it because I got a discount, but I have a full bottle of it here as well. I love it so much. So the Moon is created by Julien Rascanet for Frederic Malle, who I'm a fan of. I love his fragrances, and this is probably definitely one of the better offerings that he's done as a perfumer. A lot of people are telling me it's kind of similar to Fidelis from Histoires de Parfums. I don't know about this one. I haven't really compared it to this, but this fragrance is really, really beautiful. The oud, the smokiness, and the gourmandy, fruity touches in there are so delicious that it deserved a backup bottle. I know I still haven't done a full review of this one. If you guys are up for a full review of the Moon from Frederic Malle, let me know, put a comment down so I can find out, but definitely deserving of a full bottle. And you know, the juice is kind of going down. It's on its way down. I wear quite a bit of it. It is pricey. I did get both of these at a discount when I think Neiman Marcus was having certain discounts throughout the pandemic. I ordered it, but I love it. I really, really love it. It smells fantastic. It doesn't, there's something about it. It's a strong fragrance, but it also doesn't feel heavy. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't feel really heavy. There's an airiness about it, but still being a really, really potent fragrance, which I really like that about this fragrance. So that's the Moon from Frederic Malle. So that's the second. And the third one that I have a backup bottle, you probably know this one, is Portrait of a Lady. And this is my, I have my original. Then I had a Estee Lauder. This is the second Estee Lauder. This is the fourth one right here. Sadly, this one I don't have a box for. I recently bought it from a friend who had an extra bottle. I'm not sure where they got a bottle, but I ended up buying it. So it came without a box, so I got a good deal on it. But I knew I was going through my Portrait of a Lady, as you can see here. So it's almost down to the bottom. And what's not to like about this fragrance? This is a great smelling fragrance. Been a fan of it since 2012. Been a fan of it since the first time I smelled it. I keep talking about it. Last year we celebrated 10 years of this. It's got lasting power. Sadly, some folks think it's a little on the feminine side, especially because of the name. They probably would avoid it because it's called Portrait of a Lady, but it's a gorgeous spicy rose with patchouli, incense, some light fruity touches and resinous ambery, you know, dry down and things like that, that I'm absolutely in love with. And I've gone through many bottles. I know I'll go through this one, and here it is, a backup bottle of this one. Alright, so that's the Frederic Malle portion of the video, the first three fragrances. I'm going to go to something completely off the random, and I'm going to tell you why I have a backup bottle of this one. And I know I just went through my original bottle of this that I bought around 2014 or 2015. It's from the house of ARAMIS, and somehow I ended up with two ARAMIS fragrances on this list. But this is ARAMIS Calligraphy Saffron. This is my second bottle. This is the third backup, and I went through one whole bottle recently since, as I said, 2014, 2015-ish is when I first bought the first one. And I noticed when I was buying these, I bought these last year, towards the end of last year, like October. And I noticed the prices were going up because at one point, these were priced pretty low. Like you can get them for around 40, 45, 50 for 100 ml. Prices have crept up. I don't know if maybe there's not enough product out there, and then the reason the reason prices go up is because there's inventory is getting low, and then there's going to be more demand and prices go up, because I don't think these are being produced much more. I don't know, but it is ARAMIS. It's under Estee Lauder once again, two big parent company fragrance brands. But I really love this one because of the saffron and the resinous ambery touches. It's aromatic, it's slightly leathery, but there is this ambery undertone here running throughout this fragrance that makes it really, really delicious. It's a great scent. Out of the three in this collection, I only have the rose and the saffron I think is the most amazing. The rose seems very, very similar. I've smelled it before. I like it. In fact, I love it. But this one to me smells a little more original than the rose, and it's worth having a backup bottle. As I said, I just went through my first bottle at the end of last year, and that's when I picked this up. Now this is how much I've got left. And of course, I've got another bottle that's completely sealed here. But one more thing, stay tuned tomorrow. Finally, a lot of you have been asking me to do a saffron themed video. This will be on there, obviously, because it focuses on saffron. Either way, this is a great scent. It's Aramis Calligraphy Saffron. The next fragrance, I'm going to another Estee Lauder brand. That's weird that this has turned out this way. But it's Tom Ford, and it's Beau de Jour. And here is how much I have left of this one. It's going through. Obviously, late last year, Saks Off Fifth, I think is what it's called, not Saks Fifth Avenue, was having some kind of a promotion, and they had Beau de Jour on there for around 99 or 101, somewhere around there. I can't remember because I buy so many fragrances, I don't remember exactly the same price. So I have two backup bottles of it because it was almost like half price, you know, because this is around 100 and... Is it 175 or 195? It's somewhere around there. So I thought it was a great deal. And since I go through this one quite fast, I thought it was definitely worth picking up a couple of backup bottles because I knew I was going to finish this one, as you can see. And here I am with Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. Now, Tom Ford's Beau de Jour came out early last year, just before the pandemic. Although it had come out in a non-signature bottle in a private blend, and I think it was limited edition, and then they brought it into the signature collection. And for around $100 for this, I thought it was well worth it, especially since they priced it almost double that. Great to have. And Beau de Jour is a masculine offering. It's all about lavender, but it's a fougere, it's barbershop-y, so you've got that kind of aromatic herbal touches in here. Lots of lavender herb, but there's also rosemary in here. I think there's mint and a few other herbs come in, and then also there's some citruses. It smells really, really great. It smells kind of classic, but still modern. It's a modern interpretation of a barbershop with classic touches. I think that's what this is about. So, backup bottles. I have two of these, and I'm almost through my original bottle here. So that's Beau de Jour from Tom Ford, and I'm going to continue with Estee Lauder, and I think that'll be the end of it with this one. This is actually something I fell in love with after I blind bought it online, because this never really came to the stores, although it might have come to Macy's, but I don't really go to Macy's to shop for fragrances. But it was on website when I bought it. And finally, as soon as I bought it, Macy's had removed it. This is under Aramis again, and this is a Tobacco Reserve here. So I'm down. I've used up quite a bit of this because I really love the smell. It's a grassy tobacco, leafy, grassy, earthy tobacco with kind of sweet gourmandish touches around it. Not going fully gourmand, but it kind of hints at it, you know? But I like this whole tobacco contrast with sweet notes thing. I think it's a great smelling fragrance personally, and I love wearing it. And I bought one more online, as you can see, but I was at an Estee Lauder outlet store and I saw more there, and they were really heavily discounted. They were on a clearance shelf even for a outlet store, so I ended up buying one more. So I do have two backup bottles of this one. They're in here, not used at all. Here's one of them in here, and then I opened them up, but I think they were open to begin with. I don't know if they have been sprayed or not, but they probably haven't been sprayed. But good to have two backups of this. I think it's a great scent. Out of all of the recent Aramis men's fragrances, I think the Tobacco Reserve, I think, smells the best to me. I really love it. I don't know why this one's not going back in. But definitely I go through this one. It goes down pretty easily, even though it's not like a wimpy kind of a fragrance. But I love the whole smell of the earthy, grassy, leafy tobacco. It doesn't really smell ashy to me. Yeah, it doesn't really smell ashy, but it's nicely contrasted with, I think there's tonka beans in here, some sweeter kind of notes. I don't think there's honey, because honey is a really great contrasting note with tobacco. But there are honey-like sweet touches in there, and a little bit of a barbershop-y thing happening in here as well. So great to have a backup of this. Those are my Estee Lauder owned brands to have backup bottles of. Now going to a L'Oreal owned brand, Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. as you can see here, and I've got one more here in a bottle. And I've gone through many of these. These go down pretty easily. It's an eau de toilette, and it's one more here, as you can see. But what I like about this one is the roasted chestnuts, smoky touches, kind of gourmandish once again, not necessarily going full-on gourmand, but it kind of is. But there's a nutty quality and sweet smoky touches as well. By the Fireplace, roasting chestnuts. I guess it's inspired by a ski chalet. When you're done your skiing, you're home, you want to warm up and kind of things, and you're roasting chestnuts to eat, I guess. But for me, it's like a gourmand chestnut experience, but very, very delicious. A fragrance created by Marie Salamagna, a great perfumer. I think I really like some of the stuff she does. Not all of it, some of it. And I think that she's done a great job here with By the Fireplace. And I personally feel like this is definitely one of the more popular Maison Margiela fragrances, By the Fireplace. I have smelled it on many people. It's a very recognizable smell now. I've actually walked behind people, strangers that smell like this, and I go, wow, that smells great. I know what they're wearing, kind of a thing. So definitely is a fragrance that deserves a backup bottle, and I know I'll go through this particular fragrance pretty quickly. I do have a lot of fragrances, but some of the ones that I speak a lot about are the ones I really use a lot. Does that make sense? And definitely this is one of them. So that's By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela. Okay, this next one has to be on this list, and I have 3 backup bottles. Okay, I'm going to show you the original here. This is Psychedelic. There's one more here, Psychedelic. And then there's one complete one in a box here, Psychedelic. So there are 2 backup bottles of this. I opened this one up and threw the box away because I knew this was going down, and sometimes I feature full bottles in my videos, sometimes I feature the empty ones. But the best smelling patchouli fragrance, I think if I ranked, yeah, I think this is my favorite. Definitely is. I mean, it's kind of similarly up there with things like Lena Reed's, Reminiscence, even Mea Culpa from Tiziana Terenzi. Those are all kind of similar ballpark patchouli fragrances. The earthy, woody patchouli contrasted with kind of sweet ambery notes, which kind of creates a chocolatey vibe, chocolate cakey kind of experience with patchouli. You know, I've never made patchouli cake, but when you smell this, it smells really, really deliciously sexy, you know, really, really sexy. It's one of my favorite fragrances, but you know what? The colors change, as you can see here. I don't know why. This one's not as dark as this. And even both of them are psychedelics, as you can see. So maybe it's gotten reformulated. I don't know what's going on. I haven't really compared the two, but either way, it's my favorite Jovoy fragrance, and it's my very favorite patchouli fragrance. I just love its chocolate cakiness, sweet touches, ambery touches, contrasted with earthy, woody patchouli. Number one favorite patchouli fragrance. So that is Jovoy Psychedelic. Definitely I'll go through it because that's not my first bottle. This is my second bottle here. So I know I'll go through it. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is this one, Going to the House of Dior, FEVE Delicieuses. I really love this one. Really, really love it. And I do have 2 more backups here. The reason I have backups of this one is there's that rumor that this might get the axe, even from people that works, you know, directly with Dior, not like sales associates. They say it's currently selling, but there's a chance it might get pulled. So I have 2 backups. So I have this. I have one in here. It's completely sealed, obviously. And then this one is also completely sealed. So FEVE Delicieuses ×3. It's a great scent. I absolutely love this one, and I know I've really, you know, talk a lot about it. I have gone through many. This is the 3rd bottle here. I have had 2 before, but I just love wearing it. I know I've shared it with some folks, but I keep buying more because any chance anything happens, you know, it'll completely disappear, then you won't have access to it. So it's nice to have a backup bottle of this particular fragrance. And you know what I like about this one is the tonka beans. It's a delicious bean is what it's called, FEVE Delicieuses. And it's focusing on tonka beans, but there's a chocolatey touch there, there's a slight fruity touch there, there's an aromatic herbal lavender touch there, and all the notes work beautifully together. It's a beautiful gourmand. It's a syrupy, powdery gourmand at the same time. And it's, for me, when I think of this fragrance, it's not very Dior-esque, you know? But It's great scent. I love it. So that's FEVE Delicious. And then I think there's one more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, there's one more. The last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, probably know this one. This is Dior Homme Parfum. So I have 5 backup bottles of this. This is the 5th. No, I have 4 backup bottles of this. I can't find the 4th. I have 3 more. And this is the original 75 ml. Here's backup bottle 1. Gonna do, there's 3 right there. So there's a 4th one somewhere. I'm not sure where. As I said, I've moved into this studio and I have had a challenging time getting it all organized because of the lack of furniture that I need to put in here. People are out of stock. But what I like about this one, and again, I have not compared to the 100 ml. This is strictly the 75 ml, but it's the beautiful lipsticky makeup leather purse explosion of that smell. You know, it does have lipsticky qualities because of the iris here, but it's a lot more concentrated. It's a lot more sexy. There's a leathery touch in there because that's the leather purse, but you know, that iris powdery touch, a little bit of rose in here, maybe a slight bit of oudy touch in there, but just everything smells beautiful. And then there's the ambrette note, which adds light fruity touches, slight booziness, and a little bit of a medicinal thing in here as well. But the entire composition, probably one of the best fragrances that François Demachy has ever created. It just smells great. You know, the original Dior Homme was great. Dior Homme Intense was really great. This, I think, to me, is probably one of the best fragrances, as I said, ever made. Designer and niche. And I would put this as like a top 5 best ever fragrances created, something like that. It smells fantastic. It's just, you drool when you smell it. It's just that good of a fragrance. Anyway, I have 4 backup bottles. This is the 5th, and I'm kind of missing the 4th. I hope it's not stolen. But either way, that's a great scent. So those are the 10 different fragrances that I know I'll use up. Oh, one more thing with this. I've gone through 3 or 4 bottles of this. This is in addition to this. It's that good. Anyway, those are the 10 fragrances that I know I would use up, and the backup bottles I have of each. Thanks to CJ City for tagging me. And I'm sorry I'm a little late. I'm actually a lot late, but better late than never, as they say. I'm not tagging anybody, but anyway, that's my video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. But if you are answering, let me know what you have backup bottles of, and also let me know what you would use up entirely, completely. I know these are the fragrances I would use up. There's actually 10 or 15 or 20 more. This is the 10 I quickly put together for this video and to share it with you guys. Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.